I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. Moderation helps everyone feel safe. Who needs safety, yeah? Well, here we are, first ever YouTube live stream. Don't have a clue what I'm doing. Nobody might show up, but we'll see. Got me Pepsi Max. And that's all I need. If nobody turns up, it's all right. I've got me company. And we'll wait for the streams, for the masses to pour in. Shan't we? One viewer. I don't know how I'm supposed to tell who's in. How am I supposed to look at comments? If you can't tell, I don't have a clue what I'm doing, so I'm going to try and load it up on the laptop. Whoa, I'm watching myself back live. This is weird. Oh, I've just... I feel like I'm in... Whoa, 3 people. Hello. Hello and welcome. I can hear myself back. This is weird. I better mute my laptop. Well, hello and welcome. Anyway, we're just chilling. On Saturday night, got my Pepsi Max. There's thunder and lightning going on outside. Drop your comments. Let me know what you're up to on this lovely, fine Saturday evening. 5 people. What's going on here? Feel free to drop some questions down below. Travel related, philosophy related. Why not? Love a bit of philosophy. Whatever you like. Let me know how you're doing. If you've got any trips planned, drop it down in the comments. No need to be shy. This is really weird. I'm watching myself back on this. Anyway, bear with me. Feel free to drop some comments in. That would be appreciated. 6 people. What's going on? I'm famous. I'm going to upload an Instagram story. See if we can get a couple more people in. Let me know how you're doing. And if you've got any nice plans or trips planned. Bear with. This is weird, this. First time doing this. Rob Davies. How are you doing, Rob? Just rain. How much thunder have you had? I don't even know how to reply. Bollocks. It's saying create a channel. Oh, I don't need to reply in the comments because I'm here. Can you tell I've never done this before? Jack, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. How was the cup final? Rightio. Victor, how are you doing? Where are you from, Victor? Let me know. We are back. Good old data, eh? Wi-Fi must be crap. Basically, I've got this phone on, that phone recording, and I've got my laptop to watch myself back. Ayla seems better now. Smashing. Got my data on, that's why. I don't know who's actually... Oh, I've got 12 people. What's going on? What's going on? Must be because it's working all of a sudden. But anyway, hello and welcome. How are we all diddling? Have we got any trips planned? Let me know. Anyway, I'll get back to the questions. Let's come off my laptop. Ayla, where would you recommend exploring in Europe as a solo traveller? I don't know, you know. I feel like Europe, generally, everywhere is pretty safe. I think it's one of those things where you've just got to overcome the barrier of going away for your first time, which is really quite scary. Do you know what I mean? It's quite intimidating, but I feel like once you've done your first solo trip, it doesn't really faze you anymore, unless you have a horror experience. But like most people go away and it's chill. It's almost like being on a school trip, but you look around and there's no teacher. You just do whatever the fuck you want. It's class. How was Wembley, Jack? Unbelievable. Surprisingly, the atmosphere was like really dead the night before in Covent Garden, and the day of the match, if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, Newcastle, my team where I'm from, played in the final and won against Liverpool. Unbelievable experience. But yeah, the atmosphere was a bit flat beforehand, so, but didn't really matter because the match was unbelievable. Atmosphere was incredible, so yeah, that was great. Victor from Pennsylvania, bonjour. I don't know why I'm saying bonjour, but howdy. I'm disappointed that map doesn't have pins on and post-it notes. It's not actually in my house at the moment. So if it was my map, I'm sure it would be a bit more well coloured in, I think. Hello from South Africa. Well, I've got 21 people in. What's going on? I was expecting like 3 people, you know. I thought I was going to be sat here on my own, crying into my Pepsi Max. How are we all doing? What time? Is it the same time in South Africa? Are you on a trip at the moment, Bethany? No, I'm not. I'm at a friend's house, basically, in like south of Manchester, basically. So I'm a little bit far from home at the minute. Hello from Spain. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo estás? Are you singing? I can do a bit of singing. I don't mind a bit of singing. Sure. 2 hours ahead. Okay, not too bad. So it's not quite bedtime yet. Where's your next trip, and are you going to film it? Well, I've had a bit of a break from making normal videos, to be honest. So I think I've got a bit of the travel blues just from, no, not travel blues, the opposite, travel reds, you could call it, of doing too many trips and getting a little bit burnt out and that sort of thing. It can be a bit intense sometimes, filming while doing trips. Does taint it a little bit at times, and it can be a bit of pressure. So I haven't really had my eyes on going anywhere and doing anything at the minute. And another thing is also, I find it hard to go on a trip and not film because it kind of feels like a wasted opportunity, which is a little bit difficult. I've filmed a video a couple of weeks ago, which is like a, you know, pretty good video. I'm pretty excited to get that out. So hopefully that'll come out in, what day is it today? Ah, you haven't posted for a while, Victor. Yeah, you're on to me. You're on to me. Saturday the 22nd of March. So maybe next Sunday, fingers crossed, depending on how editing goes. But like, I'm a massive perfectionist and it takes a lot of time and effort to edit, and the whole process of going away, filming, recording, editing, uploading, and even like the details of making a thumbnail sometimes takes hours. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been nice to have a few months off as a break. I've got loads of ideas for this year, some exciting stuff, so hopefully stay tuned. Might be some good stuff coming over the summer. Yeah, nothing's wrong. Working on other stuff, on a little break. I've still been doing my members videos, so once a month I'll do like a little adventure where I just wander off and yeah, bring you along with me. It's a bit more chilled, a lot less polished than my normal videos. I have little rambles like this, so it's a lot more relaxed. So I've been doing one of those once a month for my members videos, and I've also been doing other stuff like remaking loads of old thumbnails for my videos, which helps them perform a lot better, basically. So yeah, I've got a video coming out soon. I might not give you any spoilers. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to get it out of me. Maybe for a price. If you deliver me a Pepsi Max, I'll consider it. But yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. Quite a good video. Something a little bit new, a little bit fresh. I've got plenty of new ideas to get on with. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes out. Hopefully that'll be out next week, and it'll be out a few days earlier for members too. So Jack, new ideas for this year. Give us a clue. Are you on about ideas for you or ideas for me? Let me know. Ayla, plenty of questions, Ayla. Love it. Is the new video in the UK or further afield? It is in the UK. It is in the UK. If you keep asking questions, some information might spill out. That's all I'll say. So feel free to keep digging if you want. It is in. No, I'm not. I'll leave it at that. You ask questions and then I'll answer. Whoa, can you settle a bet and say how tall you are? 6'3". I promise. No, I'm a mighty height of about 5'7.5". The half's very important. Have you been making bets about how tall I am? Jack, anyway, new ideas for this year. Me. Well, some ideas. I don't know if any of you watched. Let me know if you watched this video. It was a couple of years back now where I'd done 24 hours in Dublin with €50, which surprisingly doesn't get you very far. I mean, for an apartment or hotel, you're talking well over 100 quid. So basically, I didn't sleep anywhere for the night. On no sleep at about 4 a.m, walked like an hour across the city to a park to find some deer, which was like pretty cool. It's one of those like weird experiences which is a bit stressful. I end up absolutely knackered, but it's like makes a pretty good video, and it's a bit, you know, a little bit rogue. So yeah, I've got some more ideas like that of trying that sort of £50, maybe a little hint, in 24 hours in certain cities, or €50. So those are some of my ideas, doing those like €50 in 24 hours, sort of kind of get by sort of thing, which obviously in the more expensive cities is a little bit rogue. And some other challenges which I've got in mind might involve a football and dribbling up or across things. So if you want to ask more, if you want to know more, just ask. N. Hi, N. Hi, Ben. Only recently gone through a breakup myself, and I know you revisited Poland after being with your ex. Was it torture to go back alone? No, it wasn't. That ex-girlfriend I wasn't with for that long, to be honest. So yeah, wasn't really that big of a deal, to be fair. I hope you're getting through the breakup all right, though. Always tough, always difficult. Yeah, so I guess it depends on circumstances. If you've been in the relationship a lot longer, then it's always going to be a bit tricky, a bit difficult. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's also one of those things, when the time is right, you've got to kind of expose yourself to those sorts of things gradually over time, and it helps get through it, I suppose. So yeah. Jack, 50 PLN, don't be daft. That's about a tenner. That's about 10 quid in 24 hours. That would be another sleepless night homeless, I think. We're up to 23 people in the chat. Crazy. Let me know if anyone's doing anything exciting this weekend. Again, if you've got any trips planned, let me know. I need some inspo myself. Ayla with another question. Smashing it. Would you rather travel alone or travel with friends/company? Honestly, it depends. I mean, I can be quite difficult when I'm filming, because I'm very much like up at this time, nobody around. And sometimes I can hang around places for ages because I'm like waiting for crowds to pass so I can get my shots on my own, or I'm like, I need to go here, then I need to dart over here, and then like I can be a bit. Some people don't mind it, but also there's kind of a pressure if I'm with people. I feel a bit bad, or I don't want to be bossy with other people. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm with someone who's quite flexible and happy to let me do my own thing, then, you know, that works out all right. It is nice going away with company sometimes, because after a film, it can be quite tiring. It's nice to just chill out with people, you know, so. But at the same time, I also like the solo trip for the solitude, and especially more recently, I've done most of my traveling alone, to be honest, over the past few years. But I think even like meeting people when I'm abroad, I'm just less bothered about. Like, if I stay in a hostel occasionally, I'm kind of like, don't make small talk with me, you know. Just being a miserable bastard, basically. Favourite city in the UK? Oh, it's got to be the two. Newcastle upon Tyne. What a city. But if I wasn't allowed to say my own city, oh, that's hard. Favourite city in the UK? That is hard. I feel like I've not explored the UK enough, you know. Like, Durham's lovely, York's beautiful. I love York. Obviously, I've been to London a few times, Manchester briefly. Apart from that, I've not really been around much in the UK, to be honest. I'd like to visit Bath. Bath's supposed to be beautiful. I'd like to do the South Coast. But I think the problem is, honestly, is the prices of stuff in the UK, especially since COVID and everyone doing like staycations and that sort of thing, like, has rocketed up the price of trains and accommodation, which makes it, you know, it would be quite an expensive trip, you know, to go and do the South Coast or something like that, which is a shame. Luke Marshall, hello, welcome, and thanks for joining. How are you doing? €50 in euro. Dun dun dun. What does that mean? Geez, that would barely last a few hours. Yeah, Phoenix Park with the deer is beautiful. I agree. Yeah, that's where I wandered off in the middle of the night to go and find the deer, which was a special moment. Yeah, hence the sleepless nights, not having anywhere to sleep. And yeah, it was a bit of a rogue one. I feel like that was the first time I tried a video that was slightly different for the first time in a while. So it might be nice to revisit that series. Let me know what cities you'd like me to try that in, sort of €50 or £50 in 24 hours, and see if I can survive, see if I can get by, basically. Let me know what cities you'd like me to try that in. I've got a few up my sleeve. You might just see them if you look closely enough. Up the mags. What about a trip around Sweden wearing an Isak shirt? Oh, that's a good shout, that. I like that. That's nice. I never thought about Sweden. I feel like my mind's been sort of switched off from Scandinavia just because of the cost. To be honest, I don't know if like a little bit further down the line when I've got a bit more money coming in and maybe this whole thing is a bit more sustainable, go to some more expensive countries. But yeah, I think that would be sick. I've also thought about, obviously, now Newcastle are quite strongly associated with Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. Well, Saudi Arabia, I guess, specifically, but might be nice to wear a Newcastle top over that way and see the sort of reactions, and that sort of thing would be cool. Bethany, have you met any friends whilst you were travelling? Yeah, definitely. Not like long-term friends, to be honest, but like you definitely get some amazing memories. I'd say the best ways to meet people, if you've never done solo travelling or you want to meet people, is hostels. So easy to talk to people, and it's just part of the culture where you just chat and you say, oh, I'm going here, do you want to join? Or we're going out for food tonight if you want to join. Pub crawl, bar crawl, that sort of stuff. And also free guided tours are a great way. There's been quite a few occasions where you can, I'm not even answering the question now. Free guided tours where you can, you know, sort of meet people, and quite often, obviously the tours are in English, so you'll meet people who speak English from England, that sort of thing. So yeah, I've met people and, you know, made some special memories with just random people who you bump into, which has been nice. But there's maybe only a couple who I would as well, and say like, do you fancy going somewhere again? Felix comes to mind, who I met in Macedonia, I think. Good lad, German. We had some nice little memories, and then we ended up going to Ohrid and watching Lord of the Rings together, and that was that was sick. We went paragliding, I think that's what it's called. So yeah, that was sick. So yeah, definitely. Alex, nice to join. Nice of you to join. Favorite country visited? I think it has to be Iceland. It's just another level compared to anything else I've been to. It's incredible. The landscapes were stunning. It was the start of March. It was covered in snow. And funnily enough, when I went to Iceland, that's when I was like, right, I want to start YouTube. And I'd recorded in portrait the whole time. What an absolute dick. Do you know what I mean? That was one of those things. So yeah, Iceland's incredible. And after Iceland, I think I'd say Poland, just as an all-around destination. Can't beat it. Class. Chop, what a name. Train and accommodation are putting people off travelling in the UK, yeah. Train fares are extortionate most of the time, especially if you're going, you know, typical routes. It's it's mental. Like, even say Poland, I think I got a 5 or 6 hour train from Warsaw to Krakow, maybe 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and you're talking like £15, £20, and that's just normal. Whereas if you want to go to Newcastle or London, for most train fares, you're talking over £100, and that's one way. It's a joke. I can't keep track where I'm up to. We've got 31 people, so bonjour if you've just joined. Nice of you to all drop in. 31 people, what's going on? I thought there was going to be like 2, 1, and I was going to be sat here like in a little stare off with you. But yeah, lovely that so many of you have joined. And yeah, thank you for joining and taking time out on your Saturday evening to come and watch me. How lovely. Where am I up to? Chester is nice, yeah. Chester is lovely. I was there quite recently. I love Chester, to be fair. Beautiful. I love the black and white. I don't know what you call them, but with the sort of white with the blacked out oak beams. Yeah, there's that all over the place. Beautiful. Really lovely. City. Bath is nice to visit too, but don't go off term time. Yeah, I can imagine it's very busy. Yeah, at half term and that sort of thing. Like most places, I guess that's a nice privilege of having good flexibility, isn't it? Of being able to go, and especially like waking up, like you'll know from some of my videos, waking up dead early and exploring places at 7 a.m. and the streets are dead. There's nothing better. You can find some decent hostels in Bath that aren't too expensive. Yeah, true. There's probably still some decent hostels around the UK that are still pretty cheap. Maybe except for in summer, but one thing I do like, if you come and stay in the UK, the YHAs are great. You don't get any bother, especially if you stay in like the lakes and stuff. It's predominantly outdoorsy people, so you never get any trouble. You know, they're nice, they're friendly, cheap most of the time if you've got a membership, especially and you're under 25, another 5% off and 10% off of the membership. Great, love it. So yeah, and then all over England. So yeah, if you come and stay in the England, if you come to stay in England, I'd recommend the YHAs. Rob, what's the weirdest person you've met in a hostel? I've got my own list over the years. I bet you have. You certainly get some funny characters. Hostels can be a bit hit and miss. 2 seconds. Need my Pepsi Max fuel. Oh, weirdest person I've met. Honestly, when I was in Wrocław, or Wrocław in Poland, it's so satisfying to say that. Wrocław. I butchered it. Ignore me. I was in a cheap hostel Krasnal, I think. And yeah, it was the cheapest option. Got into my room. The room was like full with people's stuff, but nobody was in at the time. Went to sleep at 10 o'clock or whatever. This woman continuously walks in and out of the room throughout the night. Opens the door in the middle of the night, and at the pitch black, stares into the room and leaves. Does that multiple times, like what is going on? And then she comes in another time and then like picks up a coat and just gets out and leaves. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then some other bloke comes in about 4 a.m. Off his nut and starts like shouting and stuff. And he was underneath my bunk, and I thought, oh, I was just on edge the whole night. I thought, what is going on? Got hardly any sleep. And then some other Polish blokes started telling him to shut up, and then he kept going, God, which is like, fuck off or something, oh shit, whatever. So yeah, that was a pretty dodgy experience. And then when I went to Wembley last weekend, there was a bloke in the bed next to me in the hostel, and honestly, his snoring was like an air raid siren. Unbelievable. Never heard anything like it. Ayla, Oslo or Stockholm with 50 euros, that would be pretty tough. Oslo especially. But I think there's probably pretty cheap flights, so that would be nice if it's... Because what's handy, especially if I'm trying to do budget trips, if there's like flights a couple of days apart, then I can just hop on a flight, chill for a day, and then film. Do my 24 hours, especially in a place like Norway, because obviously if I'm not doing my 24 hours filming, then, you know, I will be staying places I'll be spending normal money, so it'd be quite expensive. So Oslo would be a nice one. Mock Champion, hello chap. Reet, how are you doing? Jennifer, hi, I found your videos when I was heading to Wrocław, Hookna. Thank you very much. I'm glad you welcome to the gang. Yeah, what a beautiful city. I'm guessing you've been and you enjoyed it. Yeah, one of my favourite cities, love it. Great, I'd recommend it. Clarky, nice one. Reet, can you say bottle of water? Bottle of water. I'll say it in Geordie, bottle of water. It's that thing that like Americans get British people to say, isn't it? Bottle of water. That's like the London, the London version. Do people actually say the phrase "take coal to Newcastle"? I've never heard it. Maybe a couple of generations back, possibly, but I've not heard of that. I had 4 of those Pepsis yesterday. Honestly, dangerous stuff. Love them. Try not to drink fizzy stuff too much, to be honest, but yeah, they are good. I just had a can of Monster before this, so a bit of a risky game having more caffeine, but Monster Mango Logo, unreal. How many are 33? We're still climbing. How are we all diddling? Let me know if you've got some nice trips booked up or where you'd like to see me go and film a video. Let me know in the comments. Luke, how about going somewhere in Europe for a European lower league football game? My brother went to Hajduk Split this, Dinamo Zagreb, and I went to PSV Eindhoven v Venlo, and such a class experience. That's a good shout, that. I feel like, yeah, like an abroad football game would be pretty sick, to be fair. Saying that, when I was on my summer trip last summer, and I was going through Bosnia, I stayed in a place called Banja Luka. Absolutely nothing there, literally ghost town. And I went for a run in the city, and it was maybe like 7:30 or something like that. And I noticed there was a big football ground and there's people pouring in. So I checked on Sky Sports or whatever, and it turned out there's a Champions League game just right there in this random Bosnian city. And I was like, oh, if I knew half an hour earlier, I could have gone to this random Champions League game in Bosnia, which would have been, pretty cool. So yeah, good suggestion, Luke. I feel like I could keep my eye out for something like that. Absolutely love everywhere in Poland, Mary. Me too, class, love it. What's your favourite city you've been to, Mary? Let me know. Jack, is the US on your bucket list? It's a place you've got to go to, isn't it? Definitely at some point. I think I'll probably go everywhere at some point. I don't think there's anywhere in particular that stands out. I think more for the nature than the cities. Like Yellowstone. I don't really know much of the US, to be honest. You've got to go to a place like the Grand Canyon and that sort of thing, haven't you? But yeah, like the Rocky Mountains, I think, is it? That looks pretty cool. So yeah, definitely at some point. But again, I think with being like a budget traveller and this not being as far along as I would like, maybe more so for the future, as we grow, that would be lovely to go to like Scandinavia and the USA and not have to worry about money so much, and not chipping away at the bank. So yeah, definitely at some point. Rob, if you ever do Oslo, you need to get the train to Bergen. It goes through the fjords and mountains for 7 hours and everyone fights over the window seats. Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, I had a friend in Bergen at some point last year, and yeah, it looked beautiful in the snow. But I can imagine the train journey. Also, train journey across Switzerland looks incredible. But again, just the prices. Oh, yeah, put me off slightly. But at some point, definitely needs to be done. But I can imagine the fjords. So yeah, it would be incredible to do like a proper nature trip in Norway, Scandinavia in general. I'd love to go to Svalbard, actually, see some polar bears. Alex, would love to come along on one of these random European trips. Honestly, I'd probably do you nutting. Stop there. Can you hold this camera like this? Oh no, it needs to be up slightly. Honestly, I'm a pain in the ass. You don't want to come with me. I would welcome the company though. I think it would be a good laugh. Where would we go? That's the question. Where would we go, Alex? Jack, a Geordie in Riyadh would be a really interesting watch. Yeah, I've looked at flights before to Saudi, to be fair, just to see what it's like, and I feel like that would probably be sometimes stuff like that performs quite well when it's like Englishman visits Saudi Arabia or American visits England, that sort of thing. Then especially like could put the Newcastle top in the thumbnail, that sort of thing. That'd be pretty cool, yeah. Ayla, what are your tips on keeping travel cheap? Seems impossible lately. Yeah, I agree. Ultimately, I think when it comes to travel, the best thing you can have is flexibility. If you can travel out of term times and that sort of thing, or midweek, that's ultimately how you're going to reduce expenditures of accommodation and flights. Also, some people aren't used to using things like Skyscanner and booking their own accommodation. They just use package holidays, that sort of stuff. So first thing, browse flights on Skyscanner. But ultimately, sometimes when you try and reduce the cost, it does come with some compromises. So perhaps you're not staying somewhere as comfortable, or arriving late on a flight, that sort of thing. So in terms of keep travel cheap, eating out of supermarkets, not eating out every evening and spoiling yourself. If you want to do a budget trip, most places in Europe, go to a supermarket, get a loaf of bread, get some fruit, a bar of chocolate, some nuts. Like you can maybe spend £4 and have a good lunch, do you know what I mean? And it fill you up for half a day, sort of stuff. So that's something which I like to do. In terms of other stuff to keep travel cheap, I might have to have another think about that one. I'm just a tight bastard, so it just comes naturally. Lodz is stunning, mostly untouched in World War II, as it was to be a German city. Its name was changed to Litzmannstadt. cool. I've not been to Lodz or Watts, as I'm assuming they pronounce it. Yeah, not been there. I've been to Wrocław, Gdansk, Krakow, Poznan, Warsaw, Wolf's Lair. Unreal, by the way. That Wolf's Lair video is nearly on like 500,000 views as well. Like, it just went, which is amazing. So maybe some of you joined from Wolf's Lair. So if you did, let me know. That's pretty cool. I enjoyed doing that video. David just got back from Oslo and it was amazing. Yeah, nice. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip. Yeah, what did you like about it, David? Ian, hi Ben. I bumped into you coming out of the Arsenal semi-second leg. We finally did it. Oh, Ian, that's class. Yeah, it was nice to bump into you. It's always a weird little surprise. It's only happened a few times before where I've bumped into people, but no, it's really nice, and it is a little bit strange. But yeah, no, it's class, and yeah, we did it. Cheers to that. Away the lads. Unreal. Mary, Gdansk is beautiful too, and that area is where Solidarity started. Okay, the Solidarity movement. Yeah, I think it was Gdynia, just slightly north, wasn't it, of the Solidarity movement. I lose bits of the history. To be honest, what I tend to do now is I do the research after I've filmed, which is a lot easier. I can just do it in my voiceovers and that sort of thing. So naturally over time I can lose track of, I don't know anything really, but it seems like I do because I just do bits of research as I'm editing. So yeah, but yeah, pretty interesting. Then also in Wrocław, you've got all the dwarfs, which were there because of the Orange Alternative movement. So if you go to Wrocław and you see all those dwarfs as well, that's pretty cool, which was sort of in line with what Mary's talking about, sort of contesting the dictatorship and communism and that sort of thing. Yeah, I love Poland. There's just so much history, which is really cool. And if you go to Gdansk, you also go to Westerplatte in the north, where the Germans first invaded and was pretty much at the start of the war. So yeah, there's loads of World War II stuff in Poland, which is great. Ben, have you been to the Dog and... This is so weird, because naturally when I say that, I want to say Dog and Scone. But Scone's what Southerners say. It's Scone. Dog and Scone, but that just doesn't sound right. Anyway, good question. Have you been to the Dog and Scone in Newcastle yet? I have, I've been a couple of times. There's a really cute little Dachshund called Peach, but apart from that, yeah, I think it was there twice, maybe like a year and a half ago, and then a little bit before that. Yeah, cute. Lots of little puppies running around everywhere. Has anyone else got thunder and lightning? We had some before for about literally 5 minutes. There was the most amazing bit of lightning went across the sky, and since that it's been a bit, well, there hasn't been any. And I've got this big map. Where would you like me to go? Give me some pointers of where you'd like me to go or where you'd like to go. It's not all about me, is it? Bloody narcissist. You're just as important. Gdansk and Gdynia were both shipyards, and Lech Walesa was working with both areas. The Solidarity Museum is in Gdansk. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh wow, Lodz is pronounced Łódź. Honestly, Polish baffles me sometimes. Sometimes I think I've grasped it, but clearly not. Wow. Are you from Poland, Mary, or have you just visited a lot? But yeah, like I say, plenty of interest in history. Wolf's Lair's class. Obviously, you've got Auschwitz, which is pretty... it's one of those things. I think it's a must visit, even though obviously it's pretty, Newcastle's raining. Nice. Glad I'm not on the tune. Is anyone else going to the Newcastle parade on Saturday? There's been a lot of people complaining about that, hasn't there? That's exactly what I'm like too. It feels weird saying scum. I think Peach is retired now, bless her. They've got a new albino pug called Pepper there. Albino pug? Wow. Sounds exotic. Are you northeast as well? I'm assuming if you're saying it sounds weird saying scone or scone. I love the Newcastle video. Why not more in the UK? It's a good shout. There might be one coming next week. Who knows? Just maybe. I'm not giving you any promises. but we'll see. Yeah, I think, to be honest, to answer that question more properly, I think I've not recorded a couple, to be fair, but I think I started off, before I started doing like proper, well done and edited videos, I'd done like bits in the Lake District and it just didn't get any traction, so I think I just kind of thought, the UK is just a bit like not really the place to make videos for. And I also made a York video, which was really good. Like I went down to York for like 2 days, filmed for 2 full days straight, and the videos take a hell of a lot of time and effort to edit. And that video just completely, which is always a bit disheartening because you can pour hundreds of pounds and you've got 2 full days filming, you've got to edit all the shots and then edit the video, which can take like 20 hours, and then export all the drone shots in, and then you've got all the thumbnails and that sort of stuff. So it's like, some of this stuff, there's a hell of a lot of time and effort goes into it, and if it just, doesn't really go anywhere, it can be a little bit disheartening. So I think that's partially why I've, I don't know, maybe been put off a little bit, but it would be nice to, I think you're right, do some more of the UK. Where would you like to see me do in the UK? That's a good question. Jack, have you thought about heading to somewhere further away, like India? I think at some point I've still not left Europe, believe it or not. I've done a hell of a lot of trips over the past 3 or 4 years, but still not left Europe. So at some point, maybe this year, we'll see. I think, again, cost is something that's put me off a little bit, but I think because I've maybe got a bit burnt out with all the travelling has maybe put me off a little bit as well. But in terms of cost, it makes the most sense to go towards Asia rather than the US and that sort of thing, for cost. But I don't know if there's anywhere that like pulls me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm just in a bit of a travel dip, or I think if I found a good travel buddy as well, then that would be nice. While I'm filming, to it can get a bit boring going around on your own sometimes. So yeah, I'd definitely like to do places like India at some point. Countries which are just completely different would be pretty cool. I've booked a holiday for it off. There's no way I'm working in travel on that day. Oh, I'm guessing you're on about the Newcastle thing. Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy. I know on the website it said 500,000 like tickets or something, but like the population of Newcastle is about 500,000. So yeah, God knows how that'll work. There'll probably be people come from all over the shop. I know. Yeah, a couple of people I know. Luke, you said that you might head over from Ireland, which would be, cool. I'll meet up with you if you do come over. Yeah, it'll be busy. I don't know if I'm that bothered about it though. Like, it was amazing in the ground, but I feel like because I saw it in Wembley, I don't know if it'll just be a bit of an anticlimax. I felt like a bus parade would have been different through the city, but it doesn't look like that's happening, unfortunately. Got 27 people. Hello and welcome. If you've just joined, let me know where you are, where you're watching this from, how you're doing, if you've got any exciting trips planned. Let me know. I'm struggling to keep up with these comments. I'm going to be quick fire. Ayla, I'd love to see a video of Chester. Cathedral is stunning. Absolutely. Loved it. Last time I was in there, I was like, love a good bit of architecture. Yeah, lovely city. I could do, to be fair. I could probably film that relatively quickly. And maybe dip my toes in UK videos again a little bit. Moonlight Solace again. Yeah, I'm from Newcastle. We were actually in the same class through school. Who are you? You don't have to name drop yourself, but oh wow, that's sick. Well, hello and welcome. What a funny little world we live in, eh? Oh, nice of you to join anyway. Class. I didn't see the York one. I'll look for that. Yeah, if you watch it and you enjoy it, leave a little comment. I'd appreciate that because, like I said, put a lot of time and effort into it, and I feel like not many people saw it. And maybe it's a load of shite, to be honest, because it was a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago. I think it was October 2023. I've done that video, I think. So naturally, probably progressed a bit since then, but I think generally it was a pretty good video. I think we put quite a lot into it, thinking it would do well, and it didn't. Well, play me the violin. Mary, not from Poland. I'm into World War II history. Love it. And it's filled with so much history. Yeah, you're right, it is. Oh, don't make me pronounce lots again. Łódź. Łódź, I got it. I remember it. Łódź. That's crazy. How's that pronounced? Łódź. Anyway, Łódź have the second biggest ghetto in Europe. Oh wow. And Poland is like turning the clock back. Peaceful, family oriented and great. Yeah, I agree. Beautiful country, cheap, plenty to see, loads of history. The old towns, if you haven't been to Poland, are just stunning. But you've probably seen them in my videos. Done a lot of Poland videos, which strangely, for some reason, all the Poland videos just perform well. I think a lot of the Polish people are so proud of their country as well that they tend to watch because they're curious. Right, where am I at? Ayla, again, smashing it with the questions. Yeah, Ayla. What's your favourite part of the video making process? Well, when I was filming a video I filmed a couple of weeks ago in a certain summer in the UK, I think the filming's quite stressful, especially if I haven't filmed in a while. I'm just out of flow with it a little bit and a little bit anxious on camera and filming in front of people. I think sometimes the editing can be really laborious, but there's certain times when I get the music in and everything fits right and it flows and kind of building up the story and getting the nice music in. I like that, so that can be quite fun. So I think if anything, I sometimes enjoy the editing more than the actual filming, which is a little bit contradictory, maybe. Hi there, I'm late. What are you late for? No excuses. Detention. I want 200 lines. I'm just kidding, I don't want to scare you off. Ed, welcome, thanks for joining. Tell about your trips to Eastern Europe. Any countries or places that you like the most? Hi, I'm from Luxembourg, by the way. I've got a video idea for Luxembourg. Could probably do with some advice, actually. I don't know if I've got you on Instagram or something, send me a message, because I've got a video idea for Luxembourg, which I might film at the end of April. Tell me about your trips to Eastern Europe. The thing is with Eastern Europe, I've been told off before for calling Poland Eastern Europe. I think technically it's probably more central, so I don't really know where you would class as Eastern Europe. I mean, the western part of Russia, Latvia, the Balkans maybe, I don't know. But I'll stick with the Balkans and stuff like that. Interesting places, love it. Poland, love it. You know, like I've already talked about. But the Balkans as well is pretty cool. Like, it's a bit different. It's not your typical travelling. Everything's a bit rustic and a little bit run down at parts, and can be a little bit harder to get by, but it's like dirt cheap. Like, you can go to a restaurant and if you're a fat bastard like me, you can just get 2 meals instead of 1. It's great. And like dessert for like £3. Love it. Which part of Newcastle are you from? I am about 5 or 6 miles west of the city centre, pretty much on the outskirts. So like near Newburn, Warbottle area, if you know it. Bamburgh Castle and associated history. I'm in Yorkshire. Hello, Yorkshire. Big up Yorkshire puddings. I'm just waffling now, aren't I? We're at 45 minutes in now already. We're still at 26 people. What's going on? Again, I was expecting like 31 people. Crazy. What a weird little world we live in here. Yeah, Bamburgh Castle. I love the northeast coastline. Beautiful. Don't know much of the history of Bamburgh Castle, but it'll be pretty interesting to look into and research. Hope you're all doing well and having a good evening, but you clearly didn't have very many exciting plans this evening if you sat here watching me, I'm afraid. Cheers to that. Head to Moldova, least visited country in Europe. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Isn't that where the Transnistria area is? I don't really know much about it. I've only briefly heard about it, but yeah, Moldova would be pretty cool. I'd like to visit, you know, some more slightly rogue countries like that would be pretty cool. I don't know how accessible or safe Belarus is, but I feel like that'd be a pretty cool one as well. Somewhere a little bit off the beaten track. It's always nice to explore places which are a bit more. But yeah, Jack, if you fancy a trip to Moldova, I'll be down for that. safer alternative than Ukraine, which we previously discussed. Douglas, good evening, mate. Hello, hello. How are you diddling? Where are you from, Douglas? Where are you watching from? Clarky, would you consider going lives on trips while travelling? I did think of that. I mean, I've never done a live, obviously, this is my first one, but I did think, I'll see how this one goes. Again, I did not expect anybody to join. I thought I'm just going to be talking to myself. So again, thank you so much for joining. It's been, lovely. Really enjoying chatting to you all. So yeah, I think I'd definitely consider going on trips while traveling. I think the only thing is the logistics. So like, if I was sat in an Airbnb or something, then yeah, sure, I could do it, no problem. Just set the camera up and go. But I feel like if I was traveling, it would be a bit nicer if I was in like a proper iconic spot, or at least like up a mountain with a nice view, but then you've got the wind, the weather, other people. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what the logistics of that would be like, but I suppose I could quite easily do like, join me from Luxembourg or wherever I am, So yeah, probably. Now that I've done this and, it's been nice, and hopefully you've enjoyed joining me, and yeah, so. Ayla, your editing is great and really sets your videos apart from others. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's where my perfectionism really comes out with the editing. Like, yeah, it can be quite tiring, but even when I'm, basically why it can be so draining when I'm filming is because my mind just does not switch off. And there's probably a lot of things to think about, which maybe you don't realise, behind the scenes when you're watching the finished product. You're kind of constantly thinking, what's my thumbnail, where am I going to film that intro? What I've learned now is you kind of need to decide on concept and title before you go, so then you're not going off track too much, which I find very easy to do. So yeah, there's a lot of details, like again with the editing, I am really quite meticulous with it, so I appreciate that anyway, so thank you. Hi there from Toronto, hello. Is Lindisfarne on your list? To film, I'm not sure actually, but I did go my first ever time there, like maybe a couple of months ago. Oh no, it was in November actually. Me and some friends stayed in some caravans in Bamburgh, and had a nice little cheap weekend away, which was a good laugh. And we went to Lindisfarne, Holy Island, which was lovely. I'd like to see the Puffins, which I think is just near there. I can't quite remember, but yeah, cool experience. If you don't know Lindisfarne, Holy Island, there's like a causeway that obviously you can only drive through when the tide's down. So there's loads of idiots that always try and drive through when the sea comes up too quick and they get stranded, and they've got like little huts along the road that people like have to go and seek refuge in. So yeah, pretty cool little spot. It was nice going across that. Yeah, seeing it was pretty cool. The castle looks nice. So from Latvia, lovely. Oh well, yeah. Hello to Latvia. I loved Riga. Been twice. Yeah, lovely city, so bright, and yeah, love the architecture in Riga. Lovely. Have you travelled much to the Scottish Highlands? I know they have some beautiful nature trails. I haven't, the furthest north I've been in the UK is probably Ben Nevis and Fort William and that sort of area. I've done Ben Nevis a couple of times in the snow. Pretty cool experience. Thick fog at the top. Yeah, cool experience, but not been to Scottish Highlands. So definitely at some point, I think, like I say with the UK videos, I'm a little bit hesitant of like, I don't, in terms of like video concept and ideas and that sort of thing, I don't really know what I could come up with for that. Because like I say, I don't want to be that thing where you're constantly chasing like performance and that sort of thing, because you don't want to get sucked into that trap. But ultimately, like I say, these, the videos take a lot of time and effort and money. And so you've got to kind of weigh it up of, don't want to spend a full week, a lot, hundreds and hundreds of pounds for something to just not perform very well. It's a bit, yeah, it's a tricky one. But yeah, Scottish Highlands look insane. So definitely at some point, I think for sure, we'll have to check it out. And some of the islands, Isle of Skye and stuff, I think it's going to be lovely. So, Rob, Luxembourg is class. I bet you any money you'll be staying at the hostel under the railway bridge. Yeah? Is there only one or something? I think I've looked at hostels and stuff, and it wasn't too bad considering Luxembourg's quite an expensive country. I agree with that. The videos are high quality. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do my best. Hiya, another one from Toronto, but all my family are in Whitley Bay area. Oh, wow. That's quite a gap, isn't it? Oh, well, nice one. Alright, okay. Looks like we've got a lot of Geordies in. Or Geordies in Toronto, anyway. Class. Love your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I've rinsed through all them comments. I've got no more. I'm going to have to make eye contact. How scary. We've still got 31 people and we're on 53 minutes. We'll probably give it another 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So, yeah, again, drop your comments. If there's anything you want to know about places I've been, advice of places to go, what certain places were like, or maybe even like what video of mine you enjoyed the most, and maybe some ideas of what I can do in the future, which you'll enjoy, just hit them at me, give me some questions, some whatever you want. I'm a macker. Ooh. It's alright. It's alright. There's no nastiness here. We're all friends. Even if you're red and white. Where's the most underwhelming place you visited? That's a tough question. Oh, that's difficult because to be underwhelming, you've got to have an expectation in the first place. I feel like my memory's a bit shit as well. Like, everything's a blur, been at that many places. I'd say, maybe not underwhelming, but like Bratislava in Slovakia, like, there's pretty much nothing there from what I remember. But it was my first solo trip. So could cut it some slack, but I don't remember there being much there at all. And also Podgorica in Montenegro. I only went there to fly back home to Manchester from when I was away for a month. If you watch my Lost in Europe series in 2023, smashed out 21 videos in 30 days or something like that. Crazy. If you watch my Lost in Europe series, let me know. That was, yeah, pretty cool. I need to go back and watch them at some point for the memories. Yeah, Podgorica anyway. One of the most boring cities ever. And another potential video idea coming up over the next couple of months. The most boring place, why would you want to go there? Well, wait and see. Newcastle was the best, and I think there is a market for more UK videos to showcase the country to the world. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'm glad you enjoyed the Newcastle one. I think the fact that it, home city, and I think it made me appreciate a lot of things in Newcastle that you wouldn't usually see, when it's your home city, your hometown. You don't really look, you don't appreciate things, so definitely it was nice to learn a bit more about the city as well. Like, there was loads of things I was learning as I was doing research, even about all the bridges, world's first Tilton Bridge, Millennium Bridge, world's first railway and road bridge, world's longest rotating bridge, I think, the swing bridge at the time, I think. First public street lit by electric light bulbs or street lamps, something like that. Mosley Street, I think. I'm just kind of remembering off the top of my head. Obviously, you've got George Stephenson and the railways and all that sort of stuff as well. Loads of, amazing history. Yeah, I think he's winning me over. I might do some more UK stuff at some point. I can just catch a train and go somewhere for the day or that sort of thing. So I've got no excuses really, have I? Rob, what type of drone do you have? Has anyone kicked off about you flying about it? First of all, I've got the DJI Mini 2, which is a few years old now. I mean, it's still good and, can get some good stuff, but it is starting to get a little bit outdated and I would like to get something newer at some point, but quite a big expense. Has anyone ever kicked off about you flying about it? No, but I like to try and be a little bit sneaky with it. Like, try and fly somewhere quiet. And generally what I'll do is I'll try and take off from somewhere and just get it up in the air as quickly as possible. So if I am in a somewhat busy place, then like people might hear the drone a few hundred meters away, but they don't know who's flying it, which might be a little bit dodgy, but it's like, if anyone did have a problem, they wouldn't know it was me flying it. So yeah, bit sneaky sometimes. But no, I think I've only ever had one person. Most people are just curious, but I am always a bit hesitant and cautious looking around and seeing who's about, because all it takes is a couple of people who are. I've only ever had one in the Lake District once, some old woman telling me she was going to get a shotgun because apparently drones are a nuisance and cause trouble, and then she said she was going to get a shotgun out. Yeah, seems a little bit contradictory to me. Alex, spent my entire day in Bratislava drinking cheap beef as there was nothing else to do. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there, to be honest. That could possibly also take the crown for Europe's most boring city, I think. Capital city. But I think Podgorica takes that crown. And like I say, may see a video for that within the next couple of months. No promises, but maybe. In Europe's most boring city. Mali. From Mali, or you recommend me to go to Mali? Clarky, would you consider a survival video, making your own fire and shelter and stay in the woods? I think that'd be pretty cool, you know. That's a good suggestion. I think that it's an idea I'd thought of. I'll just get them up. A couple of weeks ago, over the past few months really, just sort of jotting down fresh ideas and, you know, to try something a little bit new instead of this is why you need to visit, because as a package it works pretty well, do you know what I mean? And I found something which is kind of my own style and my own package, which works and as a concept. But, you know, I would like to try some different ideas and stuff which is a little bit more exciting. And one of the ideas, Carl, like you say, was, I think what I titled it on my phone, I'll see if I can find it. Can an idiot survive in a forest overnight? Me being the idiot, of course. But yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. But honestly, I wouldn't really have a clue. I could definitely survive, I'd like to think. Unless I get eaten by a badger or a fox or sheep, which is possible. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Same drone as me, Rob. Yeah, nice. Didn't know you had a drone. Pretty good. Bit of kit, to be fair. Do you work in a related field, i.e. film and TV industry? No, I don't. Basically, over the past few years, I've been trying to grow my YouTube and I haven't had anything else. And I've also been working on some other avenues. Basically, the goal for me is always to try and work on my own terms and make my own money. I think I'd be a very shit employee because I hate being told what to do. And I haven't really got any tolerance for that. So hence the YouTube, hence trying to grow the YouTube and develop that as a means to support myself alongside. I've kind of got a website in the works. I've been writing some travel blog content and also some more philosophical oriented sort of stuff, self-help, self-development, thought-provoking sort of written pieces, which I've enjoyed writing, which I'm thinking about putting on a website of like another means of income and something to grow. And I've also been working on another couple of things. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing for work. So, but obviously it's stuff which has all got to grow, and you know, so fingers crossed things come together, which they are, nice and slowly. And obviously thank you to all of you for watching and commenting and joining me now, which all help, you know, support me and allow me to do what I do and continue to do what I do, which is amazing. So yeah, thank you. I've got loads of ideas on here actually, but I don't know whether I don't want to spoil them. I can maybe give you some hints if you want to know some of the ideas or have a guess at what I might have, or just some wild wacky ideas you'd like to see me do. Let me know. Been back to Newcastle twice in the past year and had the best time. So much to see and do, plus the people make the city. I agree. Nice to have friendly people. Oh, nice to see friendly people have remained. Yeah, absolutely. We saw the Spirit last weekend. Oh, absolutely. Oh, were you back last weekend for the football? That's a pretty good time to come back to Newcastle. During the cup final, first trophy in 7 years. Yeah, I mean everyone's so friendly and up. Generally, there's sort of a, if you're not from England, generally it's sort of common rule that the further north you go, the friendlier people are, which I think there's some truth to, but I think in busier cities and generally in the south, I don't think people are nasty or not as friendly, but people are just more sheltered, especially in big cities where it's sort of big corporate life and everyone's in their own little bubble. It kind of seems less welcoming and more hostile. Maybe it is to some degree, but I do think people have just got in the habit of closing off, whereas in the north and the northeast, especially if you're a new person coming in, I think it's something I've found when you go into a new place, it's so much easier to just mix with people, because otherwise if you're in your home city, you just tunnel vision, bus to here, go to work, come home, or go to the gym and then you leave. Like, there's no opportunity to mix with new people, make conversations, or someone might say, where are you from? Are you traveling here? Where are you going? That sort of thing, So I kind of think that's a bit of it as well. But yeah, most people in Newcastle are friendly, which is lovely. Louise, hello. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Rob, what's the furthest away from home you've ever been? Mine was the Azores, which is probably the most amazing place I've been. That's Portuguese territory, isn't it? Off the coast of Africa, I think. I might embarrass myself with my geography there. Furthest away from home? I've not been that far, like I said, I've not left Europe yet. So, just check my phone battery, it's all good. It's all good at the minute. I don't know, I've not been that far, honestly. Tenerife, I mean, how lame of an answer is that? Furthest away from home, Tenerife. Bet you weren't expecting that. But probably, it's like 4.5 hours on the plane, isn't it? Either that or Estonia, maybe, but even that's probably not. Maybe Bulgaria is probably more of a valid answer in terms of different as well. It's probably like a 5-hour flight, to be fair. So probably Bulgaria, Plovdiv, possibly furthest place. So yeah, Bulgaria, pretty cool country, gotta say. Especially when you saw like the old Soviet statues and that sort of thing. It's pretty sick. Is that your favourite drink? I don't know. I do love it. I've got to admit, I probably prefer a Pepsi Max Cherry. What do you prefer? Pepsi Max or Pepsi Max Cherry? Or what's your favourite soft drink? Let's start off a little bit of debate. And I may or may not have started to get hooked on Monster, Mango Loco, Unreal. Bit of a slippery slope though, energy drinks. I gotta go to sleep. Can you say goodnight to me? Buenas noches, mi amiga. Good night. Hope you sleep well, Louise. Hope it's not too far past your bedtime. I hope I haven't kept you up. And we've run out of comments again, which means I've got to make eye contact with you again. Can't do it, sorry. Can't do it. Oh, Colin. Hello, Colin. How are you doing? Don't make me say that. I don't know how to say that. Okay, I was going to say they've got to be Welsh. I'm not even going to try and pronounce those. Yeah, I bet Wales is stunning. I've not really done much of Wales, to be honest, so yeah, I think you're right. Get around to Wales more. Some of the coastline is supposed to be beautiful. I've done Snowdon when it was -11 up the top, which isn't as cool as you'd think, but we got pissed on with rain at the start of the walk. And everything was soaking wet, and then as we climbed up, because it was -11, my coat was literally a sheet of ice, my bag was a sheet of ice. And what was worse, I used to make loads of TikTok videos at the time, so I didn't have gloves on for most of it, and I was filming stuff all the time. Hands bitter cold, right? The straps on my bag was just pure ice, and it kept hitting in the wind off my hand, and it was freezing. Oh, yeah. But like, it's memories like that which are just amazing, like it's like ice boulders and stuff. I've done a couple of hikes now where it's been like -11, and it's pretty special, pretty cool. But yeah, good suggestion, Colin. Wales definitely need to do a bit more of that. I visited Yugoslavia just after the collapse of communism. I loved it there. Pula in Croatia, great place to visit. I think Pula's got a really good Roman Colosseum, which is still pretty intact, I think. So yeah, that would be a pretty cool Pretty cool place to visit, definitely. The only problem with Croatia, I think, is the price. Like in terms of the Balkans, if you go to Montenegro, Albania, Serbia, Bulgaria, prices are like dirt cheap if you're from like Western Europe or the US or the UK. You know, it's great because you can go and get a nice apartment for 30 quid a night. But the only place in the Balkans is for Croatia. The exception is Croatia, sorry, which is a bit of a shame. But also, if you go to Croatia, make sure you go to Plitvice. I've also got a video if you haven't seen it, if you want to check it out. Unbelievable place. So magical, beautiful. So if you go to Croatia, check out Plitvice. Thanks, good night, bye-bye. Adios, good night. Sleep well, sweet dreams. I like your haircut. Get it in. Fresh trim. Last week, so freshish trim. It does, stunning. Yeah, absolutely. One for the list, I think, at some point. And we've run out of comments again. What is playing it? You need to be dropping some comments in. Who's got some trips planned this year? Anywhere interesting? Just don't say Benidorm. No, I'm joking, you can say Benidorm. But if anyone's going anywhere cool, drop it down below. Could have been a disaster, that. Could have been a disaster. I am gonna sub. Oh. Malaya Hutchins, what a legend. Cheers to that. Subscribe and like and comment. I appreciate the support, thank you. I went to Dublin last year, loved it. Yeah, nice. Pretty cool place. The live music and the bars and stuff, I think, is what makes Dublin. I feel like that's what you go for, to be honest. In my opinion, I thought apart from that, not a great deal else in Dublin, and it's extortionately expensive. But the live music and the bars, I think, is what makes the city. But I don't drink, so, you know, if you like a good drink and you like the live music, then yeah, it's good fun. Coming from a big city, the friendliness of the people was a bit surprising at first, but grew to love it. I'm a Robson also. Wow, there you go. Pick up the Robson gang. So the accent and people are very familiar, but I forgot about the charm. Yeah, I guess that's the thing with big cities, isn't it? Like I say, with London and stuff, everyone's just in their own bubble, you know, and so consumed by, I guess just in general, most of the world has been hijacked by capitalism and individualism. I think we live in an age of individualism. It's all about you and work and making money and working your way up the career ladder, and everything's very self-focused, you know, whereas for other cultures, which are perhaps less developed, is more community-oriented. But I think that pattern is also, you see that when you go to smaller cities and villages and that sort of thing, there's much stronger senses of community, which is nice. So yeah, it's nice when you go to, you know, smaller places or whatever sometimes, and people are friendly, which is nice. I'm just fucking waffling on it, but I love a good philosophical ramble. So, like those philosophical blogs I was talking about, if you like a good ramble like that, you might enjoy some of those, hopefully. So keep an eye out, coming at some point. But probably not soon, because things take a while. Malaya, gotta go, bye. Adios. Thank you very much for joining, and thanks for the compliment on my haircut. Look at that fresh trim. Feels so much better with a fresh trim. And subscribing. Thank you, Malaya. Adios, good night. Sleep well. Rob, I'm possibly doing Croatia in September, then Serbia and Bosnia. Maybe not in that order. Yeah, I think that's a good trip, to be honest. I've not done Serbia. Probably will at some point. Bosnia, yeah, pretty cool. Sarajevo, I liked it. Obviously got a video for Sarajevo, so if you need that for some inspo. You've got the abandoned bobsleigh track, but plenty of history in the Balkans, but Sarajevo especially, longest siege of a city in modern history, I think. Something like 900 odd days, more than the siege of Stalingrad in World War II, I think. Fun facts everywhere. Not so much fun fact when it's a siege, but you know what I mean. And also, Mostar, stunning, beautiful, like a proper fairy tale city. Not like nothing I've seen before, to be honest. Really busy, but amazing. So check out Mostar if you go to Bosnia too. Your Newcastle video was showcased on Natasha and Debbie show. They loved it. Yeah, that was really that was a bit weird. That basically two American lasses sent me an email and said, "We like your video. We're Americans who review and watch other people's videos in the UK and that sort of thing, and then review them and sort of give like, it's that thing I was saying earlier about sort of Americans' perspective of American visits, UK sort of thing." And they reacted to my video and they had quite a big channel, so I got a nice little surge over from them. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Oh, we've run out of comments again. Oh no. What are you all doing? What are you all doing? It's not a one-man show, this, you know. Any travel vloggers you watch, Jennifer? You know what? I don't watch travel stuff, you know. I don't know if that's weird. I don't watch travel stuff on YouTube. But I feel like I should, for inspiration, because when people say, "Where do you want to visit?" I'm like, I don't know. Because most people, I guess, probably watch vlogs and that sort of thing. They see a place they really like the look of and go, "I'll go there." So maybe I should. And also, it'd be handy to get some ideas for myself. You pick little bits up, don't you? So, no, I don't watch any. Are there any you'd recommend, first of all? I'm checking the temperature on my wine. You've got your priorities right. I don't know what the right temperature is for wine, so I can't help you out with that, I'm afraid. But I hope it's the right temperature. We're on 73 minutes as well. Bloody hell. Can talk shite all night long, yeah. And we've still got 26 people and 18 thumbs up. Love that. Bringing the thumbs up. 31 people. There we go. Bob, how are you doing, Bob? True. It's like when you visit those poorer villages in India, they may not be too keen on how your stocks are doing. They offer you food, as they believe when your belly is full, what other problem can you have? Yeah, I think that's the, not to get too philosophical again, I am going to get too philosophical. That's the paradox of modern life in the developed world, isn't it? Our immediate needs are so comfortably met, so comfortably. Food, shelter, warmth, stimulation, overdosed on it, that we've got a whole new host of problems, you know, and might seem a little bit unconventional and unpopular to say it, but I do think there's probably much poorer countries who are probably a hell of a lot happier than we are in the Western world, because again, a sense of community and being healthier, being more active, having a stronger sense of purpose in a smaller community is probably going to make you a lot happier than all the bollocks we're flooded with in modern life, which sometimes I just think is crazy, that we all have to go to work 5 days a week and most people do something they hate for, or just the sake of it. I mean, some things obviously are more essential than others, but generally, personally, I don't think the whole system serves the people anymore. But that's just me. I'd recommend Jason Billum after you, of course. Oh, of course. Me first, top of the pile, and Jason Billum. I'll write that down in my notes because I have an awful memory. 21 thumbs up. See if we can get 25 thumbs up. That would be a world record, I think. 25. I think the internet would explode. It wouldn't be able to cope with it. So if you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, give it a little one of them. Ooh, crack. Anyway, Jason Billum, I need to write that down. I might start telling you some little ideas. I might throw some ideas about, right? 22 thumbs up. Whoever just thumbs up. Unreal. Glad you decided to do the live. Can't be easy, but really enjoying it. You know what? It's been pretty chill. Like I say, I did not expect 30 odd people to be in it at all. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, just pretty chill. Just come along, chat shit, ask some questions, have a bit of conversation, a bit of travel inspo. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope everyone else who's in here is watching it and not thinking, fucking hell, when's this going to end? I might throw about some ideas that I've got in the works and see what some of you think, right? Are you ready? I'll just random curveballs. I dribbled a football up England's highest mountain. Let me know what you think. How far can I walk in 24 hours? Pretty good challenge. Oh, I don't know if I can tell you that one because I think it's in the works. Oh, I don't know whether I want to spoil it. 23 thumbs up. We only need 2 more to break the world record. Hidden gems you need to see in Newcastle upon time. That would be quite an easy one. And again, another Newcastle video to sort of pair up with my other one. I think that would be a cool one. I went on a mission to find Europe's largest land animal. See if you know what Europe's largest land animal is. Down there. I'm a bit surprised at that because you'd think it would be the big fluffy white death machine that you get in the Arctic Circle. But I think after Googling it, I don't think it is. It's something else in Poland, which would be a pretty cool little adventure. Oh, and now this one would be quite an exciting one. How many countries can I score a goal in 24 hours? That would be pretty manic, but a pretty fun challenge. So like, obviously 1 goal in 1 country is like 1, do you know what I mean? So it's like, how many countries can I feasibly get to in 24 hours? Which would be a challenge in itself, but also scoring a goal I think would be pretty fun. So yeah, I think that one would be quite exciting. Another idea, solo traveling, but I have to stop every time I say McDonald's. Now that's pretty much just me traveling as normal. But yeah, would be a bit of a weird, random idea, but it could be fun. 24-hour walk, yes. I think the objective would be to try and hit 100 kilometers. I think a 100-kilometer walk would be a pretty cool achievement. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I feel like it would be pretty feasible. Pretty strong walker. I'm sure the last 10 hours would be pretty grueling, but I think 100 kilometers would be pretty easy. I've worked it out. If you've done 5 kilometers an hour, that would take 20 hours. That would be 4 hours of rest and break and maybe a little nap. So maybe I might do that one on England's longest, gassy. England's longest day in terms of daylight would probably make sense. I heard someone say it well and it stuck with me. They say once you realise you are the happiness you seek, you call. Wait, let me read that again. I heard someone say it well and it stuck with me. They say once you realise you are the happiness you seek, you call off the search. Oh, once you realise you are the happiness you seek, you call off the search. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some truth in that, definitely. That we're constantly searching for satisfaction and happiness out of our own grasp rather than finding peace in our own self. I think it's a balance, personally. I think most things in life are a balance. And naturally, our happiness is massively dependent on things like our situation, our relationships, whether we have meaning, belonging, our immediate needs met. And I guess our relationship with ourselves. And, you know, it's definitely a part of that. And if you had to go down the roads of psychology, self-regulation and all that sort of stuff, I think all add up into what is happiness. But a lot of the times people see it as this elusive thing that's, you know, yeah, stuff which I'll kind of talk about in my sort of philosophical, more thought-provoking blogs. So if you're into that sort of stuff, hopefully when some of that's more written out and a website's more in the works, it would be nice to share some of that with you and see what you think. But yeah, I think you're right, Bob, yeah. Eric Garcia, hi. Hola, are you from Spain, Eric? Or is that a silly question? Garcia sounds Spanish. Did you know if you climb Snaefell on the Isle of Man on a sunny day, you can see England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Ireland and Wales. Only on very good days for Wales. I only saw 3 when I went. Wow, that's pretty incredible, to be fair. Yeah, there must be some view. How high is it, Rob? I've just seen another comment. You look like Messi. Get in. I'll take that. Is that because Messi's sponsored by Pepsi Max? I play football like Messi as well, believe it or not. Which you'll see when I do my dribbling a football across. I'll say no more. But yeah, Rob, I've done Scafell Pike a couple of times, or just a couple of fells in the Lake District, and when that's nice weather, you can see, obviously Scotland, a lot of England, you can see the coast, you can see over to the Isle of Man, I think. Saying that, when I've done the Cheviot once in Northumberland, in the northeast of England, it was a clear day, and I think you could see the Yorkshire Dales, you could see the lakes, which was like 90 miles, 100 miles, which is pretty cool. So yeah, another vid on Newcastle would be great. Yeah, something I might get in the works a little bit. Hidden gems in Newcastle, I think that would be nice, and again prompt me to learn a few more things about my city as well. Let me know if you know any cool hidden gems in Newcastle which I could write down and include. You look like Messi. Class. I've never had that one before. Hypernova again. Have you ever played video games? Yeah, I used to play a hell of a lot. Call of Duty. I banned myself from FIFA because I used to get ridiculously angry. Worst game in the world. But yeah, I used to play a lot of COD. Haven't really played games much, to be honest, the past however many years, which is a shame. I feel like you kind of fall apart with, like, you know, when you're in high school and you play games with people. First few games I played when I was like coming through into high school were like Halo 3, Unreal, Modern Warfare 2, COD 5, Black Ops, Zombies, Unreal. They're like peak gaming era. Snayfell is 2,037 feet, but there's a cable car. Okay, nice. 2,037 feet. What's that in meters? I want to say about 600 odd meters. That's a complete guess. We've still got 26. You know, I don't want to end this because I'm enjoying it and we're having some good chats. But it is getting low. It's nearly 9:30. And surely you've got better things to be doing on your Saturday night. Or have you not? If you haven't, I send deep sympathies. Sat here listening to me chat rubbish. I wish I could see who's actually in the live. I don't know how to do. I've got my phone propped up here, but I've got lines through my screen because it's a bit buggered. If I do that and reflect it, you might be able to see. There, can you see those? You can see the big lines on my screen. So my screen's a bit funny, so I don't really want to press anything. I don't know what will happen. I've never done this before, as I said. Oh, I can see myself in here as well. How weird's that? Strange. It's like Inception. Yeah, I might give it another 5-10 minutes. So again, if you've got any more interesting questions, fire them away. Ask anything you want. And if it's a naughty question, then I won't answer. But anything else, ask away. Did you include the Victoria Tunnel on your first Newcastle video? I did actually, yeah. That was again something I'd never ever heard about until I started to plan, you know, the idea of doing a Newcastle video. So yeah, it was pretty cool, the things you learn in your home city. I had no idea. So yeah, I did include it at the end, I think, which was a pretty cool little spot. So I think if I'd done a Newcastle Hidden Gems video, I'd have to include it again, so I'd probably have to go back. Bearing in mind Rob, who's in the comments here, does tour guides as well, who kindly offered maybe a little VIP tour, which would be amazing. So yeah, I might have to get in touch with you, Rob, about that at some point. I used to like visiting real locations from Assassin's Creed. Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. Italy, Paris, Greece. I've actually gone to Rome and knew my way around just off memory. Wow, that's pretty sick, to be fair. Must be a hardcore Assassin's Creed fan. I like the original ones, but yeah, I think honestly the past 5 or 6 years I just haven't really been into gaming as much. I don't know if the charm's worn off, but also playing alone can be get a little bit dull. There's nothing like the good old days when you're on with the lads on COD and that sort of thing. Pretty cool. Bob, well, the feeling of bliss I obtain in thoughtless state is unmatched. When you're in the mind, you're always thinking about life. Thought away from the action, better to be life in the moment, not mind. Yeah, I agree with that, but I definitely think there's a time and place for that. But the way I see things is quite often people seem to see things in a sense of duality of, oh, you should not live in your head, or you should live in your body, or, well, it's like, I think there's time and place for both, isn't there? Of you want to be able to live in the mind and the body, and it's that harmony which comes so naturally to people who are happy. And you know, it's when that harmony is broken and you live far too much in your own mind with things like anxiety, ADHD, OCD, you know, is when those problems sort of come, when there's an imbalance between that. But I definitely agree though, yeah. I think it's so easy myself, get so caught up in thought and logic and rationalization and procrastination and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, definitely sucks you at the present moment, which generally I agree, yeah, you're right, is a much better way to live. Mason, hi, I'm new to your stream. Hello Mason, welcome to join. You've come a little bit late because I think we're finishing soon. We've maybe got another 5 minutes. So, would you ever consider a travel with me where us watchers could join you to visit somewhere? Okay, that's an interesting idea. I don't know how would that work. I tell you what, it would be funny if I expect nobody to show up and there's 30 of you rock up again. And we've all got our own little tour group causing havoc. I think that'd be pretty cool, doing a trip with... Tell you what I have thought of before. I don't know how feasible it would be, but I don't know whether it'd be possible to create some kind of community where, you know, rather than you just chat to me and watch my videos, like kind of create a bit more of a community, you know, once I get my website set up, maybe that'd be more feasible where all of you can interact with each other, you know, and I know there's quite a lot of you from the Northeast as well. And, you know, it might be nice for some of you to connect with each other. And I know I've met some of you who are subscribers, and, you know, Jack, if you're still around, and a few others, you know, who, yeah, so it'd be nice to meet some more of you and maybe do a group thing one day. Would be cool. Mind is a tool, don't become a servant of it. Yeah, 100%. I think you're spot on with that. Balance is key with you, I'm on that, for sure. I'm heading off. Subbing to find you next time and look after yourself. Oh, I love you and peace be to you. Oh, thank you, Bob. I hope you have a lovely sleep and thank you for joining us tonight and adding a bit of wisdom. I love that. I love some deep conversations. So it was a no to vlogs, but any travel shows. Anthony Bourdain, rest in peace. Oh, I'm guessing that somebody's passed away. You two seem like you could have kicked back together. Oh, I don't know who Anthony Bourdain is. I might have to check him out. No to vlogs? No, I'd watch travel vlogs, Jennifer. I think, like I say, I think I'm a bit funny when it comes to new stuff. I can be like, I don't know. I feel like there's always a cost of doing new things because, like, well, if you don't enjoy it, so then you could just do something comfortable that you know you already enjoy, which can be a slippery slope, I know. But when it comes to like music and TV shows and that sort of thing, I can be a bit funny with not really exposing myself to new stuff. So yeah, I think I need to check out some new stuff, don't I? You mentioned Holy Island. What about the Angel of the North and Northumberlandia? Or a video about the Kingdom of Northumbria, which comes right down to Yorkshire. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Northumbria came down that far. I also think you would find North Korea interesting, but expensive. North Korea or South Korea? Can you go to North Korea? Bloody hell. Also around 23 thumbs up. We need 2 more to break the world record. You can be a part of history. Who doesn't want to be a part of history? 2 more thumbs up. Can you go to North Korea without getting shot for looking somewhere you shouldn't? Either way, it would be a pretty cool place, but I think I'd be shitting myself the whole time. Northumbria originates from the land north of the Humber. Okay, Humber River and near Hull, I'm assuming, is it? Or maybe further up, I don't know. Okay, pretty interesting. Yeah. Oh wow, yes, you can visit North Korea. It has recently reopened. You have dedicated guides. That's news to me. Bloody hell. Dedicated guides. It's one of those things, isn't it, where it'll probably be very... It's interesting that they've opened up though. I didn't know that. I wonder why. Bit odd, isn't it? How are we all doing anyway? We're all getting tired and sick of listening to my voice. There's a few of you haven't said anything in a while. I'll probably round it off. Still got 29. I'm surprised it's been above 20 like the whole time. I think, like I say, when it kicked off, didn't expect hardly anyone. Hamdan the Traveller, hi again, hello. Have you already said hi the first time? I must have missed it. But hello and welcome if you've just joined. I've enjoyed this, you know. If you'd like me to do this a bit more often, maybe when I'm on my travels and you can keep me company, that would be nice to do it again. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. It's been nice to chat with some of you. It's been a little bit different, I guess, to, you know, I guess you're probably just used to watching my videos, which is a lot more formal, I guess, and just little fine snippets packed up into a well-packaged video. So it's been great. Definitely do it soon. I have to go now, mate. Yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you for chatting with us all and giving us some cool bits of history, and I appreciate it. Yeah, take care. I watch your streams. Hello. This is my first stream, but hello and welcome. How about a Sunderland video? Oh, what would I be recording in Sunderland? Do a stadium tour in your Newcastle shirt. I am not that brave. Tim, hey. Hello and welcome, Tim. Where are you from? That's another thing. I've got some like big wacky ideas which I want to do, which will be a bit more exciting. But I feel like it's sort of the social anxiety of some of the ideas and some of the things. Like sometimes you'll see YouTubers do, you know, funny things for content, or, you know, speak to public more and get people involved and do crazy things with people and that sort of thing, which I like the idea of, which sounds great. But I think the filming can be stressful enough as it is sometimes. So I'm a bit cautious with adding extra stress. And I think, Rob, doing a stadium tour of the Stadium of Light in a Newcastle shirt would give me quite severe anxiety. As funny as it might be for some of you lot to watch. Bournemouth, hello, the other end of the country. Bournemouth are still doing well in the league. If you're a football fan, you might not care. Got absolutely hammered at St James's Park by Bournemouth. Wasn't a good watch, that. Let's see some other ideas. Who was it? Who was from Luxembourg? I told you to message me on Instagram. I hope you have, because I want to do a trip to Luxembourg. I need a bit of intel. It can be quite hard for some of the ideas I've got as well, because I don't know the place, and there's a lot of unknowns with the ideas I've got sometimes. Another idea I've got, I haven't quite thought about how I would execute it, but coin to decide which way I walk. Now, I might do something like, I could either start at a random point in the UK or from home, and like basically every time I reach a junction or whatever, flip a coin, right, I'm going left, or I'm going right, or forward, or whatever, and just maybe pack a sleeping bag in summer and just walk for like a week, 2 weeks. I feel like that would be a pretty cool video of like, just I could end up anywhere in 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Just flipping a coin. It would be pretty anticlimactic if I just kept going in circles. But I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know how it would work as a video idea, but yeah, another idea which I've written down. So and some of the cities I would like to do for surviving 24 hours with 50 euros. Amsterdam, Milan, Zurich, world's most expensive city. Near enough. Top 3. Paris, maybe. Paris doesn't really appeal to me that much, and also don't know if I'd like to be roaming around on the streets without a bed to sleep in Paris. What other cities? London, which I may or may not have already done. I'll have to wait and see for that. Next Sunday, maybe, or the Sunday after, depending on how much I get done. How far can I travel in 24 hours? Yeah, might be an exciting one. 24 hours in a country which doesn't get dark, I feel like that'd be cool. Head to Iceland in the Arctic Circle would be pretty sick, and go to like some of the amazing waterfalls and spots and have them to yourself. I think that would be incredible. Yeah, what an incredible country Iceland is, by the way. So I think to be able to explore it and have the places to yourself would be pretty amazing. Gavin, hi. Lisa, hi. Welcome. I've been on for 96 minutes. It's flew by, to be honest. So might be going to Luxembourg if we only get a Conference League next season. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. But yeah, might be doing Luxembourg for a little something, a little complete different video to something completely different to what I've ever done before. So it could be quite exciting if that goes ahead. I don't want to wrap this up. I'm enjoying this. You've got 2 minutes to give me some cool questions or tell me some cool places to visit, some interesting places that might make a good video. You've got 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'm leaving you all and doing nothing. Oh, it's been lovely having you all as well. Have any of you been here the whole time? The whole 97 minutes? Because that's quite a while, isn't it? I'm halfway through editing a video as well. It's taken me quite a while, which is why I'm saying hopefully that'll be out next Sunday, but I'll have to wait and see about that. I'm still buzzing. Apparently I look like Messi. How mad's that? I've never heard that before. I might be going on a trip in a couple of weeks, actually. Over Easter half term, might be going away for a couple of weeks, so might be some videos there. Planning on flying to Budapest, and then I might go to flying from Budapest, like 4 days there, flying to Montenegro, Podgorica, most boring city in Europe, which I might be filming a video in. I'll give you no more further clues about that. And then I might go to Kotor, I think, which is like, I think it's pretty much on the coast of Montenegro, but it looks stunning. You've got like, you know, big massive mountains in a valley, and it's supposed to be beautiful. I've not really looked at it too much because I don't really like getting too much of an expectation for places before I go, especially if it's going to be beautiful. It's nice arriving there and being like, whoa, this is incredible. So might be going there, might go back to Mostar because I loved it there. Just for a couple of days. Probably won't film since I made a video there last time. Luxembourg has a cool fortress. It's like a cave system in the side of the cliff. It's right in the city centre too. Sounds pretty cool. Hi, I'm planning a trip to Romania and Sofia in the summer and stumbled across your channel. Nice, great content. Keep it going. Thank you very much. Yeah, where in Romania are you going? I loved Brasov in Romania. If you watched that video, yeah, lovely. One of my favourite places. And nice and cheap too, but the public transport and trains and that sort of thing can be a little bit... You can't book tickets online in Romania, and you've got to go to the train station, and they had no machines. So you had to wait in a queue for like an hour. So if you wanted to get a train, you'd have to go like an hour before. That was just my experience once, but yeah, it seems to be a bit behind the times. But yeah, amazing place though. Didn't think too much of Bucharest, but yeah, Sofia, I liked. Plenty to see in Sofia, some cool stuff. Oh, Brasov, yeah. Oh, the Seven Ladders, nice, yeah. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's like a really cool... They would not get away with it in England because we're health and safety mad, but you've got like ladders going through the canyon. Yeah, beautiful little spot, and the walk up to it's lovely. So let me know how you find that. Leave a comment once you've done it, and if you enjoyed it, it'd be nice to hear how you found it. What did the woman kick off with you about it in Sofia? Have I just said something about that, or a reference in something in my video? Because I've got no idea. We've also got 24 thumbs up. We need one more of them, and we'll make history together. The world record, most anyone has ever got, 25 thumbs up. Yeah, I don't remember. Right, gonna give it another few minutes. So if there's anything last minute you'd like to say. I'm sure it was Sofia. You went somewhere and said some woman shouted at you. I've probably had a few women shout at me, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, I can't remember. Not that I remember. It might have been Riga that you're thinking of. When I was in Riga, there was like this drunk woman who was off her face. I was in the middle of filming myself, and she just like, you know when you see someone in the distance at the corner of your eye, and she was just tunnel vision, like proper Terminator walking towards me. Like went to grab me, and I was like backing off, and then she tried to grab someone on a bike going past. I was like, whoa. Yeah, pretty weird. One of those things, just off a note on whatever she was on. The alternative of Pepsi Max, I think. If you get that joke, genius. If you don't, it's probably because it didn't make any sense. 43, 2 minutes left. Sure, it was either a bank or a shop or something. Yeah, no idea. Not many funny things happen in countries, to be fair, but I still don't. Participants. Oh, it's saying there's only 2 people left. That's probably right, to be fair, everyone's probably fucked up. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably, oh, Ben. Oh, hi, Ben. Nice to see you. I'm just about to finish off, Ben, I'm afraid. I'll give it another couple of minutes. How are you doing, Ben? Are you okay? I was going to say it must be really late, but you're behind us, aren't you? So it must be really early. Just got you. No worries. No worries. It's nice of you to join. What time is it over in the US? 4 p.m. or something? 26 thumbs up. Get in. It still says 25 on mine, but we've made history, world record, and you've all played a part in it. So give yourselves a little one of them, a little pat on the back. Just 4-4, 4-4-4. Just 4-4-4 p.m. Lovely. Well, I hope you're having a good weekend, Ben. It is only Saturday, so I've still got tomorrow, still got Sunday. Lovely. I'm clicking on here and participants. Okay, there's 5 of you. I don't know if that's just not working out right. It says 18 on here, which I don't think's right. So, up to anything nice this weekend, Ben? Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and wrap it up because we've been going for almost an hour and 3/4, I think. How was the weather there in the UK? Honestly, there was some thunder and lightning about 3 hours ago, which was amazing. While I was eating my tea, I was having salmon, potatoes, garlic bread, lovely. Salmon was beautiful. But yeah, unbelievable bit of lightning across the sky, bit of thunder, just once, and that was it. Heavy rain for a little bit, and yeah, that was it. So, how's it over where you are? Cold or getting warmer? Oh, I need a wee as well. It's another reason I'm going to have to jet off. That's the problem with these and the caffeine. It's lovely for you to join, Ben, anyway. So it's nice to have you around. Nice and sunny currently, yeah. It's so weird, isn't it, that it's like getting late here and it's still 4 p.m. or whatever where you are. Crazy. What a funny little world. My phone battery's just gone low as well. So, yeah, I think I'll have to wrap it up. I'm sorry, Ben, that I know you've just joined. But, yeah, we have been going a while and it's starting to get late. My phone battery's low and I need a wee. So, we had a mild winter here as well, yeah. I don't know what ours was like. Can't really remember, but I cannot wait for summer and sunshine. Oh, it's going to be lovely. If I do go away in a couple of weeks, it'll be nice to get some sunshine, so fingers crossed for that. But yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for joining. Anyway, I really, really appreciate it. Might do this a little bit more often. It's been lovely. Do you know when you will go live next? Oh, just got the comment before first. You should do a video and show your magnet collection off. I did think of that, but I was going to do that as a members video, because that's probably not the sort of thing I'd put on my main channel. But yeah, I think I've got a magnet for every single place I've been. I did miss out on Madrid because I forgot, which was really annoying, but I had a friend go to Madrid and bring one back for me. So yeah, I think I've got it for everywhere I've went. But I think that probably would be like a members video. But yeah, there's probably a lot. There's probably like 40 odd. So I've also got a bit of grass that I got from the new camp in Barcelona, which cost me €15 for a little chunk of grass like that. But Messi's touched it, so that's good value for me. Do you know when you will go live next? I've not a clue, Ben. I've never done this before, but it's gone really well, you know? And yeah, like I've said about 5 times, I probably sound like a broken record now, but didn't expect anyone to join really, so it's been really nice to have so many people keep me company and yeah, have some nice chats, which has been great. I don't know. Might be a good way to grow your channel, yeah, and interact with people a bit more as well, you know, and chat to some of you, because obviously with my videos it's just you're watching me and there's not really the chance for me to chat with you back a little bit. And yeah, it's been really nice. So it's a shame you didn't join a bit earlier, and yeah, sorry to wrap it up just as you've joined. Yeah, definitely at some point, definitely give it another go. Maybe once I've put out some more videos and there's a bit more to talk about again, because I have been, yeah, I've been missing a little bit, I guess, the past 4 or 5 months, but obviously you will have seen the member videos once a month. If you can let us know beforehand. Yeah, it was a bit of a last minute plan. I did put a community post up last night, about 24 hours before, but naturally quite a lot of people might not have seen that. So yeah, I'll give a bit more notice next time, and a bit more planning, and maybe I'll do it when I'm away somewhere else, which would be nice. Carl. It's so weird speaking and nobody speaks about when going live. Yeah, I guess I've got quite a lot of experience talking to camera now, so I think the first few minutes I felt a bit, you know, a bit like, oh, and it's like, I think I liked it that those 20 or 30 odd of you joined as well. That was really nice, because like I said, I was expecting a couple of people and I thought it was going to be a bit awkward, but you know, I really enjoyed it, so I hope you have as well. So yeah, I felt pretty comfortable, and like I said, it's helped having so much experience on camera. It's gotten pretty normal, I suppose. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there anyway. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully I'll see you next Sunday with a new exciting video coming out. We'll see how I get on with editing the last bit of that. If not, be the following Sunday. And hopefully we'll have some pretty cool adventures coming up over summer, into next year maybe. Who knows what's in store, but I hope you all enjoy life and travels if you've got any trips booked. Good night. Adios. And yeah, we'll see what's in store for the future. If you watch any of my future videos, make sure you leave your comments as always, because I really do appreciate reading those. You know, it means a lot rather than views. Views are just numbers. I appreciate the comments as always. So if you leave those, I very much appreciate that. Hopefully see you soon. Adios. Thank you for joining me. I'll just waffle on forever. So goodbye. Adios. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?